I'm going to tell a story about another crazy transaction that you won't even believe is true. So this one was a deceased estate, brother and sister selling the house. They didn't really have a relationship, so they didn't really talk. Um, and I'll take you right back to where it all began. So we were selling a house in Manurewa, completely not like this one at all. I get a random phone call on a Saturday from an unknown number, which in real estate you have to take. And she goes, I've got a property to sell on this street, this address. Um, are you willing to take that on? What do you think it'll sell for? What are your fees? And I was kind of like, well, hang on, standard pitch that we get into. Anyway, had a little bit of a conversation. Then she just abruptly goes, okay, thank you. Someone will be in contact, and just hangs up. And I'm like, okay, that's strange, but this is kind of what you sign up for. And then maybe 2, 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from another elderly lady. She introduces herself, very polite on the phone, um, said that she'd like to sell the house straight away, and she wanted to meet me at the address like ASAP. And I said, oh yeah, that's no problem at all. Made a time, all that kind of thing. Now, for some background, that doesn't usually happen. People very, 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 very rarely just call you out of nowhere and say, I want to sell my house. Doesn't happen that often. So, you're going into it a little bit skeptical, but you go along and you do best anyway. So, met the elderly lady at the property. She walked me through the property, explained to me that it was her mother's home. Her mother passed away something like 3, 4 years. No one's been living in it since. Her brother's also now on the title because of the estate and all that. However, she hasn't talked to her brother. She has a landline phone number for him and an email address. And what she said to me is that he doesn't check either of those things. And we said, okay, no, that's fine. So we went away, did the appraisal, arranged another time for her to come to the office, went over all of that. She was happy as with our presentation, all that kind of thing. Signed the listing agreement, and she said, okay, so now you've got to go and get my brother's signature. No phone number. Oh, sorry, there was a landline number. However, it was disconnected. And the times that it was connected, it would just ring and ring and ring and ring and ring until it just ran out of rings and would just disconnect. Emails, never had a reply from. So we had his home address. So we said, look, his home is probably about 40 minutes from the office. We said, we'll take a stab. We'll just drive out there and we'll just see if he's there, and we'll just try and get the listing signed since his sister's signed. This is when I found out that the woman who rang me 2, 3 weeks earlier was actually her sister-in-law. And her sister-in-law was basically picking an agent to sell the house. So then she had sent a letter, handwritten letter, to the sister that I'm dealing with, and said, you are to contact Alex. I've spoken to him. He's expecting your call. Give him a call, arrange it, sign the listing agreement. We're going to sell with Alex. I don't know who this lady was still at this point, right? So me and Amy jump in the car. We drive for 40, 45 minutes to this address where the brother supposedly lived. And we come into this little cul-de-sac, and there's a guy mowing the lawn outside this house, which is like a massive house, right? Didn't expect it to be like that. And we sort of parked up, jumped down, and said, hey, are you so-and-so? And he said, yes. Like, what do you want, kind of thing. And then I introduced myself and all that kind of thing. And he kind of clicked, okay, this is Alec. He knew what was going on. I said, look, basically we done the appraisal with your sister. She wants to sell the house. Obviously, I'm guessing you do too. Trying to feel that out, make sure no one's making any decisions on anyone's behalf. He says, yeah, happy as. And we said, what do you need from me? And I said, well, this is our procedure. We need to sign this listing agreement on our iPad, and then we get some ID and all that kind of thing. And he said, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, well, do you want to go inside and we can go over the appraisal? He said, no, that's fine. If my sister signed it, I'll just sign it. And we said, oh, okay, well, seems too good to be true, but who are we to argue? So got the iPad out, signed it, all that, gave him a printed appraisal, which we'd already done, and then left, and we kind of looked at each other and thought, well, that was a little bit too easy for my liking. But, who are we to argue? So we carried on, did our procedure, and then I got a call from an unknown number, and they said, look, I understand that so-and-so here has just signed a listing agreement with you. It'd be good to see what we just signed. You can't just turn up and Who is this lady? Anyway, so it was the brother's wife who had spoken to earlier, still didn't know. And basically, we needed to get, for AML, when you list the property, you need to get some ID, passport and proof of address of where he lives. And we said, can you email that through to us or scan it or something? And she said, no, we don't have email. And we don't really like cell phones. We don't like phones in general, actually. So you guys are going to need to come back out and then we'll provide you everything you need. And we said, okay, that's fine. Made a time, went back out there again, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, knocked on the door, asked to come into the house. However, Emmy was wearing an Apple Watch. And she said, you guys can come in. No Apple Watches, phone switched off. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll do that. She sat us down in the lounge, like a lot of expensive art and art pieces around. We sat there in the lounge and we waited and, expecting this gentleman to come out as well. No, he was off in the kitchen, and we spoke with this lady and she said, okay, so I understand we've signed this, this and this. I said, yes, that's correct. Here's a printed copy, which I've done earlier. She asked several questions about it, asked what else we needed, and we said, look, we need a photo of the IDs, in which case we then asked for permission to turn a cell phone on, to then take photos of the ID and submit that for our AML. So that was okay. Strange sort of questioning and all that kind of thing, but it takes all sorts in real estate. And in the end of it, it was actually nice. She said, "Oh, can I pray for you, boy?" And it was, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. So we stood there, we held hands, we prayed, and then we were let off. So we came back to the office and proceeded with the sale and all that kind of thing, and got it to the market, started marketing the property and getting open homes, and then we got an offer, and it was a fairly good offer. And we went and spoke with the sister who lived locally, thankfully, and meaning we were trying to call the brother, and he never answers the phone, doesn't check his email address. Oh, that's right. As part of our campaign, we do vendor reporting. So basically a full report. Here's what we've done in our marketing. Here's what all the feedback of the buyers say. And basically, here's what we're doing moving forward. And we do a report, a couple of pages long, and give that to all the owners. So they said they wanted that, but they needed it couriered out to their place. So each week I'd do the report and I'd email it off to the sister, and I'd print a nice booklet for the brother and his wife. And then I'd have to walk up to the post shop and stand in line there, putting it in a sleeve, and then send it across Auckland to the brother. And I never got a reply or anything like that, but that's all good. Anyway, we got this offer, and we went and spoke with the sister, and I think we did do some sort of negotiation because there was some bottom dollar that she really wanted to get the best of it, but there was a lot of hiccups in the way. So anyway, we got this offer, got it to the point where basically the sister agreed and the end purchaser had agreed on this offer, and I then had to the whole time trying to get hold of the brother, cannot get hold of him. Drove out to his house a couple of times, again 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, never home. We stand outside, would ring, again you just hear it ring, and it just stops. Other times you'd try and ring, it's been disconnected, it's been pulled from the wall, never went through. So many times we tried this, could not get hold of him. Anyway, offer got to the point, two parties had signed, one party, the brother, had to sign, and explain to the purchaser, hey look, this is the situation. Brother and sister, they don't talk. No internet, or there's seldom internet, they don't answer the phone, so I need to actually physically go out there. So I went out there a few times, knocked on the door, different time, early morning, midday, in the evening, later at night, afternoon, tried to find some time, knowing full well they were retired. Could not get hold of them. Anyway, explained to the purchaser, this is the situation, please be patient. Once we get hold of him, then we can get things rolling. Hopefully he'll agree on the price, which the sister was fairly confident she would. Anyway, went out there, spoke with them a couple of times. We got an earful. You can't just turn up unannounced, blah, blah. And I'm saying, look, I've been trying to get hold of you. I've got an offer for you. I don't know what to do with it. This one time they opened the door. They said, look, if you've got something for us, just put it in a letterbox. I said, okay, well, that's not usually how I like to present offers. It's a legally binding document to sell a house. After all, we're not selling, dollar bags of lollies or anything. I said, okay, that's fine. So I had it printed in a nice folder into the letterbox. And then I've written 1 page of basically instructions. Basically, I need initials on everywhere I've highlighted. I need it in there, and then if you can drop it back to my office, that'd be great. And I didn't have high hopes, to be honest. I did not have high hopes, and we left it there and said to Amy, well, let's see where we go from here. 1 or 2 weeks goes by, nothing. I called a couple of times, but I'd already been told off for hounding them, which I suppose I probably was doing. Explained to the purchaser, hey, look, just give us a bit more time. Luckily, they were super, super relaxed, and they're just like, all good, no worries, we get it. We're happy to just wait. And then all of a sudden, someone walks into the office, and he just goes, this is for Alex, throws down this folder onto the reception desk. It slides along the reception desk, drops off onto the floor. Our receptionist at the time jumps off her seat to pick it up, comes back, gone. This guy vanished. She ran out there to see where he was, looks left, he's vanished into thin air, right? I'm out of the office at this point. Glennis, our manager, calls me and says, you will not believe, we've just got this completely signed and dated agreement back from these people that you've been trying to chase for weeks. The sale is done. Out of nowhere. And so I call the sisters, say, look, congratulations, convey acceptance, call the purchaser, convey acceptance. Crazy story, but we chased around that. We would have spent maybe 10, 12